We will now visually review how a container port may operate. This example covers some items which are common to many ports, but it is important to keep in mind that every port operates differently. In our port we have four main areas. The quayside area, along which a container vessel will berth and be unloaded and loaded, the empty container area, the incoming container area, and the outgoing area. A truck carrying an empty 40-foot container arrives at the gate. After having provided all required documentation and information, he is directed to the correct area of the port. Upon his arrival there, a reach stacker takes the empty container and stacks it on another empty one in the empty area. The reach stacker then turns to the incoming area and picks up a container to load on the empty chassis. Once loaded, the container chassis with the full container will head for the exit gate. This incoming container arrives on a vessel some time before the loading. It was offloaded on the quayside and then moved to this incoming area to await its pickup. The container chassis will stop at the exit gate for further administrative tasks and possibly custom clearance one, which may or not include an X-ray scan. A second truck arrives at the gate, this time an empty container chassis, and after a brief administrative stop, it heads over to the incoming reefer area. A reefer, short for refrigerated container, is a temperature-controlled refrigerated container used to transport temperature-sensitive or frozen goods. Once the chassis arrives in the incoming reefer area, it is loaded with a 20-foot reefer container by a heavy-duty forklift. The container chassis then heads to the exit gate for possible custom clearance and other administrative steps before leaving the port. The seaside operations take place in parallel and independently of these landside operations. Here we can see a container vessel arrive, and once berthed, some of its containers are offloaded thanks to the gantry shore crane. These containers are stored in the quayside area, and they will be moved at a later stage to their corresponding incoming area to await their pickup. In the meanwhile, our third truck carrying an outgoing last-minute 40-foot container arrived at the gate, and after check-in, heads with no delay to the outgoing area. Once arrived in the correct area, the truck's container is offloaded by the reach stacker, and due to its last-minute arrival, placed directly in the quayside operations area for loading onto the berthed vessel. The truck then carries on a bit further to the reefer area, where it is loaded with two 20-foot reefer containers by the heavy-duty forklift. The truck then leaves the port. In parallel to this, the reach stacker has been moving containers from the outgoing storage area to the quayside for loading onto the vessel. Now available, the heavy-duty forklift joins this repositioning effort, while the gantry crane is back into action, this time loading the awaiting containers from the quayside onto the vessel. The reach stacker now moves further down the quayside area to start moving the recently offloaded containers to their matching incoming areas, where they will await a later truck pickup. Once the container vessel is loaded with the planned containers, it leaves the port and heads for its next destination. The quayside area will be completely cleared and prepared for the next vessel. We hope you enjoyed our animation, and please don't hesitate to subscribe.